Hello and welcome. This is Jorge, prospector of the Prospect Chase Box, and joining me is Mr. Ron Bartley.
Greetings from the North Pole.
Yes, sir. We are live. Water down coffee.
And I
There
have
you
just
go.
watered down water.
Water down water. And this is episode 79 of Coffee and Rip. We're almost at the 80 mark. Very excited about that. Yeah, this episode should be a fun one. Spring training has started, Ron. I know you got the giggles.
Pitchers and catchers, getting them out there. So we'll.
Pitchers and catchers. By the way, let me check the audio because do you hear me okay?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Uh, I think I now hear you a little more loud. Um, yeah, pitchers and catchers, but a lot of position players are actually showing up. So I'm giddy to see. I just get notifications here and there. I saw Lindor and Nimmo hitting the cage. That was pretty awesome. I'm super. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for this new season. So many things, so many narratives, so many different storylines. Uh, the Dodgers being the the evil empire, but having some real opponents, right, to
Yeah,
possibly
it's going
take
to
them
be an
down.
interesting year. Well, and the other thing, that has people are starting to get in the rhythm to now that we're 2 years into it is this is now the interleague play the way it's been structured. It's happening again, so you can know that if you played an opposite league team, if you're an American League team,
Right.
you're playing a National League team, you're playing them in the opposite park this year. So it's fun to keep track of it. Like my Padres this year are playing in New York against the Yankees, so that'll be nice to see. Um, I'll see them when they play the Mets here in town. You know that,
Absolutely.
and if the prospector's in town, we're going.
Yeah. It's gonna be an outing. It's at summer, right?
Yeah,
June,
yeah, something like that. We'll
June or
we'll,
July.
we'll figure it out.
Give me a second, real quick.
But the other things coming up is the perfect Valentine's gift for your sweetheart, Archives Baseball. If you're not buying her archives, what are you buying her?
Right.
It's Top
That's
Series One. You do have it. You got to go to the store and pick it up.
absolutely. That is like Ron and I were commenting off camera. That is a fun rip. Um, the checklist is really good. I'm I'm curious to see what the comparable value is on hobby versus retail. I've only opened uh, hobby for the Prospect Chase Box Volume 33, which, by the way, little plug, only have, I think, 2 or 3 boxes left of the Prospect Chase Box Volume 33. The idea is to do a live rip on this break, on this coffee and rip. However, I'm having second thoughts. Here it is. I may, depending on how the stream goes, I may rip it on camera. Maybe I can if time allows, or I'll do a separate live and post it tonight. But yeah, this one's going to 2 different folks. They're splitting a box, Ron and Roger. Yours truly right here. But that is a fun rip. You know what else? And I brought it with me, thank God. You know what else is? Well, we know this. We've talked about it, but a sweet reminder of how sweet and how fun of a rip this is. You and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
Um, Stadium Club.
Stadium Club is always a fun rip. It has
I
so many different things in it.
and it's especially fun if you just find like loose packs, some lone soldiers here and there. I needed to go buy supplies at Target, painter's tape, other envelope, a bunch of other things, and pick up a toy for a niece.
Yeah.
And I happened to pass by. So Target is switching things up sometimes. Some Targets still have their cards sort of corner by the cashiers or whatever, where they have Pokemon and other stuff. and some still post, some still put most of the what's the name of the middleman? Is it MG Holdings?
MJ Holdings.
Whatever. Most of those folks still put like their blasters there, but some targets are kind of switching it up and also putting some stuff by the toys. And because I took a look, now granted, this was like a Monday, which is not a restock day. But there were some hockey and other stuff by the usual corner by the Pokemon and the cashiers. But then I went to the toy section and I'm looking for a certain toy. And all of a sudden I look up and I see like some random like packs and like Pokemon and some other stuff. And on the corner, there's two retail packs. They're not fat packs of Stadium Club, this year's Stadium Club. And I'm
you
like,
mean like
yeah,
this?
those. Exactly. But so
I went to my Target. I grabbed 4 each
this
these
week
the other day. Yeah.
So they must have had some in back stock or something because they had 2 of those left in a corner. And I was like, you know what? This is exactly the type of pack you pick up. You don't think about it. And because it is so fun, listen, they're a little expensive. They're like $7, I think.
Yeah, they were $6.99, so $7 each.
But like they always, most of the time you'll get something good, like decent. And if you don't like the cards, which I think just the photography by itself is really cool to just check out. But then you have like a few pinks and reds and whatever. From the ones I've ripped, maybe you've had a different experience, Ron. There's always like a card that you can sell for $5 or something on eBay. So like you're likely to get your money back even if you don't really like any of the players. So this is my example. These are 2 packs, 2 of those. So I pulled an Evan Carter red.
Whoa,
rookie,
nice.
Which is fire and a color match. Really solid and in good condition too. I'm going to keep this card for a while, if not graded at some point. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful. And I'm seeing this dude. Me and Carlos are seeing the Rangers here in the Bay Area in a few months, in 3 or 4 weeks.
Nice.
Or something like that. I don't know when. April sometime. So I'm going to try. I may try to get his auto. We'll see. Hit the Emmett Sheehan, whatever, pitcher, Chrome.
Okay.
The Chrome, it's beautiful. And then this green Bo Jackson Chrome, which is really good. The picture doesn't do it justice. Now, these greens are not numbered. I was blown away. I was really surprised.
I don't know much about the greens
So
in
I guess
there.
not every color, because I saw Chrome and that's the color. I'm like, oh, for sure that's numbered to something, but it is not numbered. However, it is very, very cool. Cool card. I love how the what do you call that? Like the bleed, right? Of how the actual background just makes the figure pop.
They did a good job. They did a really good job with it this year because they really stand out. On the red ones I got a black Mookie that is absolutely stunning, but
and the pinks, even if they're corny because they're pink, man, like I'm a Met fan, right? So here are my pinks. I got 3 Mets: Keith, Piazza, and David Wright. And the way that the background, I don't know, the bleed, it's just beautiful. Like, imagine if Topps flagship could do this. Like, imagine if these were Mother's Day, right? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, do something like this, Topps.
Well, with the archives, they have the parallels in there of different things. A lot of them, those are nice. And with the archives, they have things like, this is the black. This is a Colt Keith black.
That's beautiful.
Parallel. I love these black borders.
Was that a blaster?
This is from the blasters. Yeah, this is the
numbered?
Fernando Tatis. This card is truly one of my favorites now. I look at this card and go, that is outstanding. Done. They even have some color parallels in there. These were both 99s. CJ Abrams, I like the kid. And I have no idea who Reese Olson is. And I dropped the Mickey Mantle. So
great.
So that's what quality show when let's flip them over there. There we go.
Beautiful. Show us that banged up corner.
Yeah, it didn't ding it, but it dropped straight down. But those were nice parallels. And there's a parallel in every single pack that I was opening. So I have friends that are going to be getting some of these. I'm not sure who it is that's a Mets fan, but whoever that Mets fan is going to be getting, like this Goodling Lindor. It's one of the 3 different throwback series. So there's cards from 0 to 100, I think, and 100 to 200 and 200 to 300, or however they're numbered,
Okay.
of the 3 different designs. So the one set has one design, 100 to 200 is a different design, and then the higher number of cards are a third design. So it's really fun. So you have a couple different designs you're looking at in the set. I actually sorted them all out by design the other day. I ended up with a few piles. But like I said, you're going to see a few cards from Prospector Ron to Prospector Jorge.
Beautiful.
Things like look at the portrait here of Code.
It's amazing.
It's a good looking card.
That's a good looking card.
So
I'm so bummed that they So speaking of Stadium Club, as we've talked about before, it's a shame that they are doing away with Top Stadium Club Chrome. But
it lessens the things we're having to buy. There's some chrome variants in there, which makes those more valuable than they were before.
So we'll see. Top Stadium Club, it's a fan favorite of us here. We do like a bunch of non-mass produced things. Like at least Ron and I are fans of Topps Chrome Black, which obviously they've done away with. It went. They never made an announcement, but they just let it go.
Yeah.
Same with Topps Chrome Platinum. It appears that, in fact, they're not going to make it. Unfortunately, wow. I mean, people have speculated. People that know or have access to insiders have said that they've gotten word that it's not coming out. At this point, it usually comes out around March or February, I think.
Yeah, it usually comes out around the end of the year as well. I thought the first time we saw it was like in November, and then the next time it was in like February or March. I'll take a quick look here at Beckett
to see if there are any changes.
See if they have anything to say on it.
The thing is, they're always a year behind, right? So this would be 2024. Yep. We're already creeping into. Top Series 1 has been already released. You would think by now, not that it would have been released, but that we would know if it's coming and when. And the fact they haven't said anything, plus the fact that some people allege to have insider info that it's not, that they're dropping it. And it kind of makes sense based on where Topps wants to go with these sets. I don't know. I kind of miss it.
Topps is also introducing all of their football and basketball products now as well. So you've got them turning their focus onto some other things, and maybe they don't feel like they don't need as many of the one-off products to fill the void in all the months, because they're right now dumping football, and football lasted a long time because it's unlicensed still. Soon it'll change, but right now it's unlicensed.
At some point it has to be. You would imagine, and let's dive in. Let's talk a little bit industry, Topps, etc. At some point, you would imagine, looking at it from the business side of things, you would imagine that at some point capabilities and throughput and supplies and raw materials and having now your own manufacturer or whatever, at some point capacity is what capacity is, right? And if they've decided to do away or buy out some of these manufacturers or whatever. Sorry, not manufacturers. You know what I mean? Like the people that make the cards, which I guess manufacturers is the right term. The printing facilities, right? So at some point, they're making so much stuff, right, that makes them money, mass-produced stuff and the premium stuff. And so at some point, and it has to go. It also has to align with their business model, right? Which we can talk about that. It's changed quite a bit now. I think it's a good thing that they're not producing these like excess products. I think a cutting of the fat
There's a
was
few
welcome. I
products they
think,
could do away with.
yeah.
I mean, even looking at what I got on my shelf here behind me, there's a couple of those I could have done away with as well.
Yeah,
So
I agree with that. And listen, even if it pains me, Topps Chrome Black, it's a little bit of a excess product that you can do away with. Now, I wish they took the quality control from that set or the type of card
yeah,
and
yeah,
you know
it would
made
make a great parallel somewhere or
something
what
like
have
that.
you if they did do
But I
it.
do agree that that's excess. I like that they did away with like the nonsense gallery and the nonsense opening day, stuff like that. And
Did they do away with Big League? I
and
think.
they will, I think, or
Yeah.
they did or they don't. Yeah. And listen, we've talked about it along, days on end that we thought that they needed to segment better their audience and their target markets. They needed to do kids products and mid tier and then uber premium if you're going to compete in those. And I think that's great. The beef I had, and I mentioned it this morning, replying to your comment on Discord. The beef I have is that they are they're not straight with people. They are not. They produce a mass product like they print out. They're back. We're back to like 2021 numbers. I saw the print run for Series 1 2025. It's
Hmm.
back over a million. It's back over a million of every base card, which is 2021 numbers. You would think that they would be a little bit like
More
more in
inserts.
tone, more in touch with the hobby. They seem to be a little tone deaf. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they've really overdone it. Some of the things that tend to hurt us as collectors or people who want to take a box and rip it with friends is the fact that they've diluted the product so much that anything, unless it's a superstar and it hit in the card, not worth a dime in there. You talk about the fact that they didn't include any autos in hobby, and yet they've upped the number of this. So an auto you might
A
get,
guaranteed
or you're
auto.
going to get a relic. Okay, so you go to a jumbo, so you're paying for a guaranteed auto, you're paying a minimum of $189 when it can be one of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of autos in there. I was looking for the counts here. I posted it somewhere the other day, so I was trying to take a look at, I can see it, but the numbers are really, really high right now. Um, not something that you're going to hit. You're seeing the hits starting to get posted for Series One today by people. Somebody's already hit a one of one of the ace pitcher cards. I don't remember which one it was, but it's already happening like that, where some people are hitting some of the one-on-ones. They've added some interesting things, bringing Barry Bonds back into it, which a lot of the older collectors, the guys who collected in the 90s, and into the 2000s are chomping at the bit to get their hands on those again, but not the same. It
Uh,
is such a saturated product, saturated market. Only good deals out there are buying in on breaks for a lot of people.
yeah, I'm having some doubts I'm having some doubt as to include it as to whether include it or not in the PCB volume 34, the jumbo. Because by the way, they printed so much out of it that the odds of hitting anything in
Yeah.
retail, which is expected. In Series One, and going back to our original point, I get it. Series One is meant to be the mass-produced product of the year that is accessible price point wise to kids, to everyone who wants to partake in the hobby. Uh, There's a reason why they print the shit out of it, because it's, heading into spring training. It's promoted everywhere. You'll find it in Ace. You'll find it in Home Depot. Likely, you'll find it anywhere. A gas station.
Even my
Anywhere.
MLB feed teams are sending me notes
Anywhere.
saying, "Hey, come to our team store and buy the product."
So it stands. I mean, it stands to reason that obviously the print run is going to be crazy, and I get that. And so I guess to your and my point, the price point should also reflect the fact that you're not going to hit anything. So having a jumbo box for almost $200 and having that guaranteed auto be a sticker auto, most likely, maybe not always, but I've seen a few breaks online, and they've all been sticker autos. Granted, they have made a change. So I guess what's frustrating is that it seems that they've got their eye on the ground for some things, but not for everything. So they did away. So a positive, right? A pro. It looks like they did away with those manufactured relics, and those relics that you're getting are now they're still $5 worth. They're still worth $5,
yeah.
But they are guaranteed game used.
And what it's saying is, hey, this is game used by the player shown. It's been worn by the player shown, not necessarily for the picture you're seeing on the front of the card, but here it is from that player. So they're taking a slightly different.
I think we'll get there at some point, and for sure we'll get there at some point for the super premium products. And listen, if you want to differentiate a product based on that, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with paying more money for the actual thing that's being shown. But so that's a pro, right? We're not seeing those Jackie Robinson manufactured relics in every other product now. That's great. But man, if you're going to guarantee an auto, it has to be on card.
Yeah.
At almost $200, it has to be on card. The hobby product, please. People are paying $100 and whatever for it, or $100 or whatever that it is. Include an auto there, guaranteed auto.
Stop with the relic. The print numbers for 2025 were they were printing approximately 414.6 million base cards. So that's a little over a million per card. 414.6 million total base cards.
Yeah, it's each base card. I read it was 1.2, something like that.
Yep.
Or 1.1.
They're printing 54.6 million inserts.
That's insane. And I get it. The strategy. So it's
100 million more base cards than what they estimated in last year's Series 1. So last year it was only 304.2 million. This year it's 414. So it's over 100 million more cards out in circulation.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Every base card is printed at 1,100 times, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. So PSA, send them into PSA quick.
No. Do not send anything. Do not send any base, no matter if it's pristine. Do not send any base card to PSA.
It won't it doesn't make sense to do it.
It's barely worth like the cost of grading, really.
Yeah.
So anyways, point is, it's a mass-produced product. I understand it, but if you're gonna do that, please don't give us like. And so this is where I'm conflicted, because whenever you have such a mass-produced product, they obviously have to have some type of hit, so that people that are ripping it feel that they got something. When you know for a fact that you're not going to get the player you were looking for, even if you do, it's not worth anything. So what they do is they print a shit ton of inserts and new inserts, and then they invent all these new parallels, which mean nothing and have no value. I don't know about you, and maybe this is the wrong strategy. Maybe I'm not, because I obviously am not the market. I would much rather have a very difficult to pull camo, Mother's Day, Father's Day, you name it, gold, than to pull something foil, rainbow, purple foil, something. I don't know, but I'm not the market. Obviously, and to my point that I was earlier, tying it back to what I was to my reply to you on Discord. There, like you can't be both things to someone. Like if you're a mass product, then don't be a breakers product, right? It's
Yep.
just a product for the kids. Don't try to pass it off as like, ooh, a breaker. Look at this purple hollow foil, something. I'm like, come on, man. Like, don't be that person. So that's my only beef with it. That I think they should be straight with people saying the odds in this thing suck, but it's kid friendly. And be upfront with it. Don't sell as value, right? Don't sell the Barry Bonds auto, which you'll never get.
Yeah. There's so few and far between. So you talked about ripping. Do you think you're going to rip anything today? Are you going to save that rip for later?
We could. I have something to show you first.
Okay.
So I've been prepping some stuff. So one, Ron and I have talked about this in prior episodes. We're trying to do some type of event that's going to be, or find a platform that's good for selling singles as a group. We're working on that, but I'm also, so kind of like similar to that, I'm prepping a box of cards of singles for someone that has requested certain players off me. So I'm going back through old albums and what have you to pull out some cards. So I came upon one of my collections of like cards on these things. I have a bunch of Hall of Fame players and whatever in there. Some players, some Hall of Famers from Puerto Rico and others, Dominican Republic. But I had this to show you because I have a bunch of them, but this is one that I thought you would appreciate.
Oh, very nice.
I have a story about. Have I ever told you my story with these Tony Gwynn 90s inserts?
Well, I know I haven't heard your story, but the Fleer Ultra,
right? The green
right hand corner.
These were tough to pull.
They were. I actually put together the set, and then I ended up putting together the autograph set of that.
Really?
Card. Yeah, it was took me a while, and during a divorce, I was forced to sell that a long time ago. So I started putting it back together again, and managed to finally get it together. It took me about 10 years to get them all at a reasonable price.
Did you have? You have these already?
I have that, and I actually have the promo sheet from Fleer. When they came out to the show in San Diego, Tony was here. A big show in Del Mar years ago. When that in 1992, obviously they came out with the promo sheet. I had the promo sheet, took it to Tony, and had him sign it for me. So I have the promo sheet for that signed, put away here. One of my favorite cards of all time. So
it is cool. I have a story I'm going to share with you here in a minute. I'm willing to bet you don't have this card.
I do not.
Naturals, Pinnacle. Remember when Pinnacle did cards?
Yeah, and I was not a Pinnacle buyer. So that's probably one of the reasons I didn't get it.
This is foil before foil existed.
There's a couple of those technologies that some of the card companies came up with that people have not been able to figure out how they did it. That might be the one that I keep hearing about.
And this is a super. You probably have this maybe multiple times. This is a super cool card.
That is a nice card. I've always loved that Topps.
The Stadium Club.
Yeah. I don't know that I have that one handy, but that is a beauty.
The shades. That's awesome. Yeah. A good chance this is coming to you. This is like from the second year of Stadium Club. Because this is 91 Stadium Club. And Stadium Club started. Sorry, this is 92 Stadium Club. And if you recall correctly, their first release of Stadium Club was in 91.
Yeah.
That famous, what is it, Frank Thomas card or whatever? That's for the first. So this is from the second set ever of Stadium Club. By the way, mad respect to everyone who has every top Stadium Club set ever produced. There was some gap years, right? I don't think they went all the way, right? At some point they stopped and started again.
Yeah, they did.
I wonder when they started again. Probably sometime in the 2000s, maybe. because I know they're 19. I have 1996s or 95s, something like that. But I know at some point they started. But man, yeah. So I'm gonna pull out some of these cards and send to you because
I
they
appreciate that.
belong in the right household. So my story with Tony Gwynn and these cards. So remember, like you said, these cards, this Field Ultra, had this commemorative set, but they also had those like very tough to pull play autos.
Yeah,
Was it the same image or different images? I
it
can't
was the
remember.
same image. They had all 10 of them. Was it 9 or 10? I forget. But they had all of them embossed. They had the special. This was early on when they're trying to figure out how to authenticate autos. They didn't know how to do it, so Fleer did an embossing on them, where
Okay.
after they crimped all these cards with their seal in them. So that was the only way you could tell what they were.
I pulled an auto out of a pharmacy pack or something. I must have been like, oh my God, I must have been like 12 years old. Well, whenever that was, 92. So I was 15-ish, 14, 15 years old. I remember to this day, I pulled it and I sold it to my LCS. At the time, I thought it was I made a killing.
They
I
probably
remember
get
I
you like
sold it.
$75 or $100
I
worth.
sold it for $100 worth of, I think, and not even worth $100 store credit. So ask me if I remember what I got for it. No idea.
No idea.
But that was my first reckoning with hobby sharks that stole that from me for $100. That auto is probably worth a ton more now,
You know
right?
what? They
Or
aren't
no?
worth it. They aren't worth a ton because there's so many fakes out there. It's hard. It's kind of
Really?
kept the price down. Yeah.
Really? But
There's
even
a lot of fakes.
graded and authenticated?
Graded and authenticated is probably worth a few bucks more. Yeah.
You would think like $500, right? Something like
No,
that.
you can generally get them these days because there was a lot of them and he signed a lot. So
No, but I'm not talking about.
I know the authenticated ones,
Yeah,
they really didn't hold the value.
because there's no way they didn't figure
They
out
didn't have good
authentication.
authentication processes. So they've been uh, replicated or
Or
forged.
TTM'd.
Yeah.
So Tony probably unsuspectedly probably signed on. I mean, he probably should have been more careful signing those just because, but probably he didn't know.
He was so accessible in San Diego.
Yeah.
He was at one of the car dealerships that he sponsored regularly. I mean, people would come and bring him stuff, and if he didn't want to sign it or he didn't think it was real, he was real good about telling people, those aren't mine. Well, can you just sign them? No. This guy kept bringing these game pants to him, and there's this whole video of Tony telling the guy, hey, just get it. Those aren't real. I'm not signing that. Well, can you just no? So he was good about that. In fact, he was a collector, if you didn't know that.
He was? I did not know that.
He was a big collector. And they had the Moreno family during that time period was out making lots of forgeries. They made prints, they made jerseys, they made all kinds of stuff, and they were forging it. And Tony was key in working with the FBI on telling him, okay, these are real, these are not. This is real, that's not. So if you ever let's see that, what did they call it? Operation Fastball, I think is what it was called.
Okay. Yeah. No, I had no idea.
Yeah, and Tony was key in that. So one of the small things. So it's one of these things where buyer beware. I see the Merino prints getting put up places, and I let the people know every time I see one. I said, "Hey, that's a forgery."
Yeah.
Oh well, you just leave me alone. It's my stuff. Yeah. I'm blocking you. Thank you.
Anyways, so yeah, I'll make sure to do that. I don't think we'll do I think I may do a different video for this because I haven't even done the randomization. So let's do that. Let's do it separately. Let me see what I got here. I brought some things to show at that, and then I show at the Stadium Club. These cards they look so good that sometimes it makes you want to do the whole set, but I'm not doing the whole sets of this anymore. So our friend Todd is likely getting this George Brett and Salvi. These cards look so good, man. What else? What else did I have to share with you? Well, spring training. Oh, remember our conversation about the Mets lineup? It looks like whatever combination of the lineup is going to start with Lindor batting first.
That was what you were
thinking. So I guess that's what I was thinking. Or you had mentioned. I think you were mentioning that he should be. I mentioned this a possibility that I thought it had to be him or Nemo. So it probably looks like if Lindor's first, you would think that Juan Soto's batting second. I imagine
he's the number 2 batter in anybody's lineup.
He just his on base percentage alone. Like if Lindor doesn't get on base, you got Juan Soto to maybe get on base again, right?
Yep.
Or there's a good chance that you've got 2 runners on immediately for Vientos. So my thing is, in that scenario, Nemo's got to bat fifth, right?
Yeah, we talked about him having bat there. In order to get enough bats, they need to have him batting there. We'd also talked about where McNeil was going to bat
down there.
We talked about putting him at 9, so he'd be right in front of the guys coming back up at 1, which isn't a bad place for him.
Yeah. What I do like about batting Nemo fifth is that there's going to be a lot of occasions where Pete Alonso, because you don't want Nemo's a speedy guy, so you don't want Nemo to be necessarily batting right after Alonso is on with a hit or a double. Granted, the argument there is that there's going to be very few times where Pete Alonso is going to be standing on first. A lot more times, either he cleaned the bases or he hit a double, and scoring from second base is easier, right? So yep. I think the argument there is that you got like a second leadoff person batting fifth in Nemo that will get on base. Then you can bat sixth, whether it be, you can go both Winker, or if you want to do righty lefty, whatever, you can do your DH there. And then top. I don't see a scenario where Francisco Alvarez is batting anywhere like higher than 7th, because unless he shows up with actual power that he can, you're not going to put him 5th, 6th, and he's going to bat 7th. And then Siri or Winker is going to bat 8th, and then McNeil 8th. It doesn't matter. McNeil and Winker and Siri are batting 7, 8, 9. Or Alvarez, right? It doesn't matter. But you have to put someone with gap power behind Nemo at 5th. You have to put Marte or someone with gap power. I don't love Marte because I think he's old already, but we'll see. We'll see what he has.
It's going to be an interesting year.
What does the Padres lineup look like? Arise 1, Tatis 2.
I'm trying to think of what I saw the latest lineups as. It's still unclear what they're going to do. They went out and got Connor Joe from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a local San Diego kid, so they brought him in, and they signed Hamilton. Hayward.
They got Profar.
Yeah, no, they don't have Profar.
Left. That's right, Braves.
Yes, Jason Hayward they signed.
Yeah, Hayward. I don't know. I think he's a bit old.
So what they were talking about is maybe that's going to be a left field platoon of 2 guys.
Oh, okay.
Who knows?
Okay. You lost the Korean dude. You lost Profar.
Yeah.
Cronenworth's got a bat like what, 6th, 5th?
He's been batting 5th a lot before, so he'll fit in there.
I think you could use some pop in that lineup still. I think it's not a finished product, especially if you lose considering you lost Profar.
Yeah.
You still got amazing pitching. That's your cornerstone right there, is the pitching.
There's still some solid pitching. They haven't lost everybody yet.
But what are they going to do with Cease? Trade him?
Who knows? Who knows? There's always a rumor about them trading Cease off to somebody because after next year he has no value to them. It's the same with Suarez. Suarez is a free agent after next year. So you don't control him after that.
Do you think? Give me I know you're a fan, just like I'm a Mets fan, but give me your honest, objective opinion. Do you think the Padres are a contending team in 2025?
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, especially with a healthy Tatis, they'll be solid.
You think they're deep enough? You think that lineup is deep enough?
I do. I think with their pitching, they'll be solid enough to be in there. They'll be scrapping with everybody. The coaching has been phenomenal, and what they've been able to do. You look at the fact that they walked into the season last year with an unknown in Profar sitting at left field. This guy who they didn't really have, that much faith in. Profar was in the league 10 years, and last year was his huge season of everything. He's only had that one.
I think a difference maker is Jackson Merrill, of course. That's like our equivalent. That's a Padres equivalent of like Mark Vientos for us. Like if we have Mark Vientos do what he can do, same thing with you guys. Merrill has to show up and be all-star level in order for your lineup to be, deep enough. Because after, correct me if I'm wrong, with losing Profar, after the fifth spot, you're a little thin, aren't you?
You never know how those guys are going to turn around.
Who's your 6 through 9?
Well, you've got Bogarts in there, right?
Okay.
You've got let's see how are they going to put it? I'm trying to think of where they're going to catcher. You're going to have your left fielder out there. They've got this guy's named Diaz, who used to be an all-star with the Rockies. Now
he's solid. He's solid bat.
He's going to be in there as well. And then you're going to have either Connor Joe or Hayward playing the left field out there hitting the ball. So
I think let's see what your bottom of the lineup brings. Because the years that you've been good, the bottom of your lineup has produced. Whether it be the Korean dude, Cronenworth when he was batting 7th, Profar sometimes
last year
got hot.
Last year, Kim was in the lineup for most of the year, and he just was dead. Just absolutely killed us in the lineup. He was not hitting the ball. So we'll see what Cronenworth does. If he comes back around, he got married, so maybe he has a little better focus.
Who's this, Cronenworth?
Yeah.
I feel that the Padres and Mets are very similar. I mean, you've got better pitching on paper, but I feel that their numbers and they're because they're really explosive 1 through 4, 1 through 5, maybe even. But after that, there's a little bit of a letdown. But we'll see. You never know. You have the potential. It's just they haven't proved anything yet. But you're solid defensively, just like the Mets are up the middle. Where like especially now with Siri manning center field, Lindor, that's a solid core, right? The defensive core. So we'll see how that goes. What else? I haven't looked at anything else MLB wise. But
prospect chase box wise, we're talking about getting that outing together. How are things coming together with that? I know you have a few committed.
I need to do more. Yeah, so the plan is to get together in May, something for the Royals visiting the Bay Area. So I'm gonna look into it starting tomorrow. Hopefully carve some time to ask questions. The idea was to get a private space, so there wouldn't be the type of event that we want won't be cheap. You're probably looking at somewhere near, I don't know. I don't want to be off, but it wouldn't surprise me that we're looking at $400 per person. I mean, that could be different if we say, you know what, no food. You get your own, right?
Look at the size of me. You think I'm going to go to an event with no food?
No, what I'm saying is that because what my idea was to include everything, right? To buy like food for the group and drinks and what have you at a suite. But if we want to save, then we can. I'll look for both options. I do like the idea of a suite because I do it all the time, and I like the camaraderie there and the private space.
Yeah.
But I'll also look, like you said, at different private spaces outside of a suite. See what that looks like. But that's coming. That's coming. The PCB, it's coming. PCB event at the ballpark near you. Well, not really. Near most of you in California for the moment. We'll just be strategic about the games that we choose, who the visiting team is.
Yeah.
So
we want to rip a
yes, rip some because I don't want to rip the box yet.
Nope. Since we're not ripping the box, we'll go ahead and do this.
But this is your time to rip because you haven't ripped before. It's always me ripping, so do it.
It is. So there you go. We've cut the top, and we're popping the box here. Oop.
You should rip a stadium club too. F it.
So I'm not going to be able to see the cards as well as you, but
Marte. I'll read it. My eyesight is pretty good. Justin Fuskew, Mr. Orange card thing.
There
Mauricio, rookie. Oh, he has a rookie in this product.
And this product is really pretty well centered too.
So go slow because I'm going to do storylines with each card. Mauricio, which you just passed, he's got an invite to spring training, and odds are looking good that he makes a team out of spring training. We'll see.
Gavin Williams,
starter, I think, for the Guardians.
Okay, so now
we've changed. Is that a rookie card? Yes, it is.
The Wyatt Langford rookie. So he's
bring back to the Bay Area outing. Well, I'll send it to me. I'll get it signed. Yadier Rodriguez, very good prospect for the Blue Jays, rookie. He's got a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Justin Steele, Cubby, Crab. I'm just kidding. It's a Jordan.
And here's an insert for us. This is what do they call this? New breed.
Yep. Heston Kjerstad, rookie. Insert. Foily.
There you go.
A gold Evan Carter.
Yes. How about that? Let's see what these are numbered to, if they're numbered at all on the back. I don't see any numbering on the back.
Well, that beautiful card. It's pretty centered. I mean,
yeah, it's very nice.
Not PSA 5545 now, but what are those?
So let's get back. This is another one of the inserts. This is the bubble insert.
Todd favorite in the Todd household, MJ Melendez. Mr. Turner, the redhead extraordinaire.
Yeah, he's in a Seattle jersey there.
Is he with the Blue Jays now? Who did he sign with? He signed with someone.
I don't know if he signed with
D-backs. I want to say D-backs.
Down goes Anderson.
Is he even playing? He may be playing Korea or something.
Ke'Bryan Hayes.
The forever prospect, Ke'Bryan. Ellie. Rookie. Dig it. What a great pack. That's an Ellie, bro.
Yep.
And Quinn Priester.
I don't know who he is, but
me neither.
Again, this was a $7 pack, and it's a nice mix of different cards. Really like the pack. Really like the product. So as far as fun rips, this is definitely one of the more fun rips. And like I said, with this we got the Evan Carter Gold out of here, which is pretty nice looking card. A little bit of shine to these. It's not quite refractor-ish, but
that's a cool card. That's a cool card. I'm expecting if he's healthy, I'm expecting a bounce back year by the 22 or 23-year-old Carter. So I think that's a solid pack. That's why we included those packs, the hobby ones on volume 33. So if you haven't gotten those, there's 2 autos in those hobby boxes.
Yes, in the hobby box, and it was a decent value when I was able to pick that up. I forgot what I paid for it, but it wasn't overly.
It was in the low hundreds, I think.
Yeah, it was. But again,
low to mid hundreds.
Like I said, if you're looking for a fun rip for to do for yourself at home, Archives Baseball is fun. The blasters, $25. They're available online. I found them at Shields the other day. That it was a weird.
Is that where you got them online delivered?
Yeah, and they were here within 2 days.
Yeah.
What did we talk about that on Monday? I think when we were talking about the retail box.
You mentioned the retail box of 24 update was available, but it was sold out fairly quickly.
But they had these on there for 25 each. I dropped 4 of them in my box, and
so you did get those retail boxes?
I did not get the retail boxes
Yeah,
from them.
yeah. Those, I mean, I think that's fairly priced because I told you they took down. It's only a 20 pack
Yeah,
box now. Before it used to be 24. Um, but still, and of all the formats, it's probably you know
stingiest.
the stingiest and parallels and whatnot. But still a good product. So and listen, it's a product that we all knew that we have all talked about how, I mean, I wouldn't say low printed, but it wasn't printed to the moon.
No,
And evidence of that is that if you look, you go and try to find some out there in the wild, and you can't.
you can't. Well,
I think you have to go to some of the middlemen, and even I don't think they have much. You don't find them in Best Buy anymore, or in Barnes and Noble, or any of those
every once
GameStop.
in a while, I see somebody getting one out of Target, but haven't seen that in a
Yeah.
while.
So
I used to see them pop up in the Target inventory restocks online. Haven't seen
yeah,
that in weeks and weeks
yeah.
now.
So now you gotta like wait for those, Thanksgiving, whatever, Black Friday deals to see if someone restocks something online. But they're they're tough to find, and which
Yeah.
is such a great rookie class. It is not hard to believe that they're tough to find. I wish I would have bought more because I bought a ton, but I sold on Prospect Chase Box a ton, and I opened some for myself. So
I've got some megas put away, so
you got some megas. Wait, they have
yeah.
megas of those?
Of Chrome
Oh,
update.
Chrome. I'm talking about
I
flagship, but
know,
yeah, I know
flagship.
what you're saying. No, I think Chrome. Wait, is Chrome sold out too? Like the megas?
Yeah, haven't been able to get a hold of those at all.
Wow.
I still have some of the update hangers back here,
Oh,
so
you do?
there's still a stack of them back there. Yeah.
Okay. I wish I had more. But yeah, folks, that's gonna do it for us. I may go live later tonight um, with that volume 33 pack break. Um, Tyrone wanted to get in too, so he's gonna get in on one. I think I have 2 or 3 more boxes. I want to say 3 more boxes, and I may just do this pack breaks all throughout because it's an affordable way for people to buy an assortment of the packs, get something, and I'm guaranteeing autos and parallel cards to everyone. So it's a fun way to rip this product, I guess.
Yep,
Ron and I
absolutely.
are having discussions about what the pack lineup is going to be for Volume 34. We may go premium again, super premium, or we may do a lower. I wouldn't say low value, but less packs. Or
Yes.
we're trying to think
Some
of
of the things, the pricing of some of these things, like we talked about the even just the Chrome Megas, for update are selling for 150
yeah,
each in some cases, 100 if you're lucky. I see sealed cases now have dropped down to about 1,700 for 20
yeah.
megas. It's like
It's
still
just
a
a
lot.
challenge. It's what Tom's has been doing and how they've been pricing their products. It's making it's making it a little bit challenging for us to keep the value, keep the price of the box where it is, but also what to put in those, because some of these really fancy premium, ultra premium products that we want to put in cost a fortune. So it's one of those things we're trying to recalibrate what the box has and the value it offers. I'm all for reducing the price of the product, which I haven't done since like volume 3 or something.
Yeah.
When we started with a regular product and a fancy premium product, and they were priced differently. But people kind of wanted the fancy Chase product, so we went with that from volume 3 onwards. But I'm just, again, I never stop evaluating the product, so that's part of recalibrating what people want and have money for, and trying to figure out what's for you guys, whether it's a lower $100 box or keep the 150 but reduce the number
Well,
of packs but have them be like super premium.
we do
Uh,
have some drafts sitting here still, so
so
we
we'll
might have
work
to
on this. We
put
promise we'll work on that, and come up with something different for volume 34. Listen, maybe it's just alternating, Ron. Maybe 1 month it's super premium, keep the price, but super premium, but less packs. Maybe the next box is more affordable, but has just one premium and the rest just mid premium. Maybe that's the answer. We'll see.
We'll see. We have the Jorge hobby box versus the Jorge blaster box. Who knows?
No, none of that blaster nonsense.
We'll
But
see.
anyways, we've gone too long. Thank you, Ron, for making time.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for a live rip of Volume 33 coming up either tomorrow early or tonight. Thanks for watching. This is Jorge Prospector for Ron. We're out. Thanks, guys.